Slam
Podcast! Hi, everybody.
Sup?
We're back.
More podcasting.
Yeah,
It's
live.
It's been a month. To be honest, it's been a while since I've even put anything on my channel, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm going to pop a video up about that soon and why I've been so kind of ghosted at the moment on my channel. But there's reasons, and I just,
Oh, I thought you just meant the wrestling.
No,
but there's
in
other
general.
reasons for
Yeah,
that.
that's in general, really.
Yeah, so, we're back. Usually, a while ago, we did the numbers of these, but I've lost count how many we've done.
45.
45.
This is the 45th one.
All right. So,
You should do something big for the 50th, though.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It'll be a shit
Yeah, probably. Let me figure it out. Real quick math here. It'll be Survivor Series.
Okay,
so that's a big-ish one.
That's as
And
big as it used to be.
The rumours going about is Survivor Series this year will be celebrating 25 years of The Rock. So that could be a big one.
Okay.
But it won't be a big one for them.
I don't know what we're going to do, but maybe just add more people into it.
Hopefully, by that point, we would have at least gone to one of the events. That they were.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But do you want to do your thing?
Yeah, like, subscribe, share.
Share.
We're on SoundCloud, Stitcher, Apple Music, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Castbox, but quite a lot of the stuff. The only thing we're not on is Spotify, which I keep meaning to look at, but just haven't got around to that yet. So just look on most podcast things, you'll find us.
We're on the internet.
Yeah, we're there.
We'll
and YouTube, obviously.
Yeah. So no deaths as far as I know, so we can dive straight in.
I didn't watch the pre-show as usual.
For Hell in a Cell
2021.
Yes, usually it's October. They've mixed it up a bit, which I might dive into a bit later of my theories why. But Hell in a Cell. I did kind of see the pre-show, but it was one of them on the background. Natalya versus Mandy Rose.
Yeah.
Literally nothing really to report or talk about.
It happened.
Yeah, I think Natty won. And probably over the sharpshooter.
I actually can't remember.
Yeah. Oh, she did. I've got the image now of them, her and Tamina kind of gloating afterwards. That happened. So they're probably potentially building up to a women's tag title match between them and Mandy and Dana. I think they were together. So, that's that. Main show.
I suppose we better talk about first is the fact that originally Reigns and Ray were meant to be on Hell in a Cell, probably closing the show, I would imagine.
Yeah.
The only real reason I'm tuning into WWE at the moment is Reigns' storyline. This is very well done, which proves they can do it if they make the effort.
Mm-hmm.
But they decided to just give it away on SmackDown for some reason, and there still isn't any valid reason of why. They just decided to do it just to pop a rating, which is kind of annoying because it was the only kind of match I was mildly interested in. The rest of them, most of them, were rematches. So it's just a bit of a weird one, really, for that. I don't know why they did it. What I saw on SmackDown, it was good. It was fine. I don't know, just kind of annoyed.
Do you know anything about Raw?
I watched. I've watched the review of Raw, and
right. So then you know what happened with Xavier, then.
He had a Hell in a Cell match as well. I was like, okay. So it builds up towards Kofi and Bobby at Money in the Bank, which is fine.
Yeah,
I don't mind that. I think the positivity and it's about attitudes and everything towards things, which is a better storyline than I don't like you, I want your title.
It keeps Kofi in the top picture.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
The Hell in a Cell thing was a bit weird.
It's just.
It seems like it bookended the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view with two Cell matches on Raw and SmackDown. It's just such a weird bookending.
It smelled, from the get-go, it smelled of desperation.
Yeah!
It was
desperation.
But it diminishes the whole Hell in a Cell concept.
Yeah.
Because any other time of year, if they went, I don't know, they always seem to, or they used to anyway, made a big deal about the season premiere of Raw and SmackDown, almost like they ended.
Yeah.
You know, it's a constant thing. It's all year round. But if they were ever going to do that, of like, it's the season premiere of Raw, whatever, which is usually around September, October, and they said, and as a big moment, there's going to be a Hell in a Cell match, I'd be a bit more inclined to okay. But to do it, literally, the show before the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view and after, didn't make any logical sense to me. The whole point of Hell in a Cell is to be a rare treat, to the point you should buy the pay-per-view because you hardly see it.
And you're building up towards enjoying it. If you know you're going to get it for free anyway. I mean, I know we didn't know necessarily, but it's a little bit cheap that you build it, you spend all this money and people spend all their money to watch a pay-per-view. and you get something for free on TV.
Yeah, and you arguably give the most interesting match on the pay-per-view card to SmackDown.
Yeah.
Which is great for SmackDown, because what I heard, I think I understand a bit of Raw. They did the one on SmackDown, which again, like you said, no explanation of why, really. There's no well, Ray can't be there on Sunday, or Roman can't, or anything like that. So it happened, and then the day after, I saw on YouTube, USA Network was sort of just pissed off with WWE about it. And at first I was like, oh, was there something like pre-Watershed? Which would have surprised me in a PG product anyway.
Yeah.
But then I was like, hang on a minute. They're on Fox. So this means the USA Network are pissed off because Fox got Hell in a Cell and they didn't.
So that's why it happened on
probably,
Raw.
Yeah, probably.
Yes,
like, all right.
that makes perfect fucking
which
sense.
Which is still as petty
that's
as
so high school bullshit, isn't it? Oh, he got something I didn't. I want something.
And I'm going to give WWE a free pass with that, because that's the network, not WWE.
Yeah.
So for USA Network, go fuck yourselves. Just grow up.
It's so pathetic.
But as far as the decision to put it on Fox, again, this could have been something by Fox going, we're not happy with the ratings, we're paying you a lot of money for this, do something. And, okay, good idea, wrong time. Really the wrong time. Yeah. So it really diminished that whole Hell in a Cell thing. I've now seen too many in the last week. 4. Yeah. It's just like, what? And yeah, it seemed to be the wrong match to take off the card to put on SmackDown.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of desperation. Anyway, there's the rant. So yeah, they went all out for the fireworks to the point I thought they were going to set Thunderdome on fire.
Yeah, it's funny how they said they can't afford to keep certain people employed, but they can afford to do more fireworks.
Yeah, well, they just went, well, the fireworks cost less than it. Shut up.
Yeah.
So first match was Bayley versus Bianca.
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure originally wasn't going to be a Hell in a Cell match.
No, I don't think so.
And after this Reigns thing, they're like, well, we've got to have another one, so they gave them that.
And I'm kind of glad they did. It needed to be. We already saw the first regular match between the two. Yeah. Spice it up a bit with stipulation. That's fine. And they did okay. Yeah,
it was a decent opener. Obviously, at no point did I think Bayley was taking it, and to be honest, at no point during the match did I think she was going to take it.
No.
It never felt that way. I did enjoy her working over Bianca's hair and tying her up all the time, and then Bianca kind of got one up on her and she tied Bayley to her own hair and beat the piss out of her. I think it was a solid Hell in a Cell opener. It wasn't the best I've ever seen.
Nothing wrong with it. Just nothing like
it was
mind-blowing.
It was fun enough.
Yeah, I did like Bayley, as I throw back to last year, she tried to tape the two Singapore Ks together and it just fell flat. Yeah. So, pre-prepared ones.
One thing I
okay.
I mean, I know she trash talks Michael all the time.
Yeah, I like that.
But she did it again, obviously, but it hit home more with me because the whole time me and Sarah were just like, oh, Michael, shut up, stop saying this. Stop saying veteran. Bayley's not a veteran. Someone like The Rock and Cena are veterans.
Yeah.
Bayley is not a veteran. And look, he said it like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, shut up. And then 3 seconds later, Bayley went, shut up, Michael, they know. I was like, yes, Bayley, tell us shut up.
I did notice like halfway through the show, like him going, WWE, and I just thought, Alan's losing his shit right now.
I can see the Bayley in his head.
But yeah, the thing, to be honest, Gary, I really thought this podcast would be short. Might be still short because I thought as far as the whole pay-per-view was quite average and not a lot to report. But I will admit, going into this match, I thought, maybe Bayley could do it. I nearly predicted her because I thought there's the shock factor. To be fair, though, I think I went with Bianca in the end because I thought I'm going for Charlotte with the Raw one. I don't think both women are dropping it. But yeah, I just thought, to gain Bianca's doing nothing wrong, but Bayley's a great champion, and I thought, why not give it back? Create more heel heat for Bayley, more sympathy for Bianca, and I thought if Bayley does it, probably by dirty tactics, that image of her clicking her fingers or something, and the Thunderdome all turning into the laughing Baileys, and to see a heartbroken Bianca in the ring, I thought, that would create some buzz. So. Fuck you, Bayley, and Bianca. Girl. It's the right choice, I think, still, for Bianca.
Yeah, because I don't want to just end too abruptly for her. But the other day, overall, it was a solid match. I enjoyed it. It did what it needed to do. I don't really lost that here. It's just carrying on. But I think it's good that Bianca won, because now that Bianca won, I think this feud is done. So, again, you don't want to keep overplaying stuff. This feud is over now, so she needs to move on to the next thing.
I'm still very impressed after, this has been a match type since 97. And even the throwing back to Reigns Ray, the creativity they have still.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm always very impressed with.
Yeah.
They can always bring something else out. They go, well, I haven't seen that before. It might be a slight variation of something we might have seen before, but it's still something slightly different.
Yeah, I mean, Ray did the chair around Roman's head and pushed him into the cell. I don't remember seeing that any time before. To be fair, a lot of Bayley and Bianca was based around her hair, but of course you would utilise it. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So, yeah, the match was good.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say great, but it was good. If I'm trying to do the quick remembering now, I think the next one was Seth Cesaro.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
So this is a rematch of a rematch. They've had it twice already. Again, this is the thing I'm thinking, right, I don't mind one more with these two because they are so good.
Yeah.
But this needs to be it now. Unfortunately, I don't think it will be based on who won.
Well, yeah, I thought it might be the end until... I don't think Seth's counting the one that happened on... was it SmackDown? It would have been SmackDown.
Yeah, that's right.
As he was going at the aisle afterwards, he was yelling one apiece, almost like the pay-per-view matches.
So it's going to be... Yeah, so it's
going to be... But, you know... The match, again, was nothing bad about it, but watching it, I was thinking, this isn't as good as their Mania match.
No, it wasn't as good. Their Mania match was incredible. And don't get me wrong, they still pulled out all the stops and they did a really good, solid, serviceable wrestling match, and these guys are really good together. Mm-hmm. But I've already seen it twice.
Yeah,
It's going on. It's like, well, what else can you bring out of the bag? And I just felt it was a good match, but there was nothing new I saw. You know what I mean? It didn't feel like it was fresh.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, especially when you say, like, bring anything new out of the bag. They really didn't. And it's not exactly a bad thing, but you want to, like I say, keep it fresh. So it's almost like, just as an example here, Friends is always on TV. Everyone's seen them. But every now and then, you're like, I've seen it, but I'm going to watch it because I enjoy it. So it was kind of the same with Seth and Cesaro. It was like, I know exactly what's going to happen. I know exactly what they're going to bring to the table, but I've seen it. So, yeah, in a wrestling thing, you always want something new.
Yeah, because in the day, when you are about to watch the match, you don't know what's going to happen in that match.
It could be experience,
you know what
whatever,
I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah, and you expect to see something new. But
especially with the story between Seth and Cesaro, there wasn't any inkling in my head of well, he could interfere. It wasn't that kind of story.
Yeah.
It was just going to be like,
and I thought to myself, I know what they're like. They're not going to have Cesaro win 3 times in a row against Seth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
see, there'll be someone on the internet now going, oh, well, that's Cesaro's pushover. Fucking hell, the fuck he doesn't know anything. Seth needed the win.
Yeah, he needed to, but it was a dirty win, wasn't it?
Yes.
Was it a roll-up?
It was a roll-up. So it protected Cesaro in a way. But also,
I'm not a massive fan of the roll-up.
No,
in all honesty.
But it's a protection.
But I suppose it protects Cesaro to a point.
Seth needed to win because those going Cesaro won again, yay! They would have been the push continues, blah blah blah. But it's okay, because I did think fair enough. Cesaro lost at the last pay-per-view, maybe this one, but Seth's been losing a lot, and if Seth needed to back up his claims, he needed a win.
Yeah, and I get that. And I think maybe the way to finish this feud off without it feeling stale and just having another one-on-one where we go, fucking hell, on board. Because I don't want to feel that way between these two. I really don't. But I feel if I go for it a 4th time, it will be boring.
Yeah.
So the way to fix that, put them both in the Money in the Bank.
I was about to say the same thing.
And Cesaro needs to win that, I think.
I said if Cesaro's in it, he's got to win.
He's got to win, because they said let's do something with him, so that's you doing something with him. And then technically Seth doesn't have to worry about looking bad in a defeat, because there's other guys there as well. He doesn't necessarily have to be involved in the lot. Yeah, exactly. So that is the way to do it.
Seth's ego, the story would make sense for Seth's ego to be like, I won, I beat Cesaro, I did my claim, I think I deserve an opportunity, if not for the championship, Money in the Bank, because that's the next bit down. Yeah. But another reason I understand Seth winning is that the biggest rumour right now is it's him Edge at SummerSlam. And you need some momentum going into that. So, yeah, I'm fine. That's a match I want to see.
Even putting Edge in the Money in the Bank and having him cost Seth gives you him reason to go against him.
Thing is, with Edge's neck, I don't know if I'd like that. Play safe with Edge a little bit.
Yeah,
but
true.
But yeah, this isn't... I did not see this as the end of Cesaro's push. With the way they're going...
I'm hoping it's the next stepping stone.
Yeah, because, when you put both matches in front, I'd rather Cesaro got the victory at Mania than Hell in a Cell, and that's what happened. Yeah. But if they go, well, what about Backlash? He goes, yeah, okay, he lost at Backlash, but it was in the main event of the pay-per-view for the championship and had an amazing match. what more can you ask for a superstar? It's a scripted product, of course. Sometimes they're going to win, sometimes they're going to lose. And I would love it to be full circle if Cesaro won Money in the Bank, held on to it for a while, going into Mania, Seth was champ, and Cesaro cashed in then. Almost because yeah, you did it at Mania 31. Now, fuck you, how's it feel?
Yeah, exactly, that'd be great.
So,
it was good, but yeah, I'm kind of hoping this is the end now, which I don't think it is, but if they do it right, they could have good money.
Predictably good, but in a kind of boring way. So,
which is kind of muddled.
It's mixed
synopsis, isn't it?
Yeah. So, next was Alexa versus Shayna. I don't really.
I don't like any of this. When she first went kind of all spooky, kind of Fiend type stuff, I was interested. And as time has gone on, especially since the Fiend has gone on hiatus and she's doing it on her own, I've just become more bored, annoyed, and pulling out of it. It just seems weird. And then they just solidified it here by I don't know what it was. Just the match wasn't nothing special.
Really happened.
And then she possessed Nia to hit Reginald. I'm like, what is happening here? And then that cost the thing where she got Twisted Bliss and beat Shayna. So once again, Shayna's been pinned. So more and more, she's falling down the card of importance. Yeah. And it's like, I want Shayna to be in the Money in the Bank and win the fucking thing. But at this rate, I just don't care enough about her character because they're making me not give a shit because she just eats pins all the time. Apparently on Raw, she ate a pin from this new superhero Nikki Cross persona.
I heard about that.
Yeah, I don't know, this story just doesn't work for me. The spookiness it doesn't seem good anymore, like The Fiend was good enough where it felt genuine. But with her, it seems like it's goofy, and I don't like it.
With The Fiend, or Bray, whatever, it was light side, dark side. It was simple as that. Where Alexa's just become almost just like a zombie girl, and it's weird.
And the whole doll thing, I can't stand it.
All right, look, I'm okay with the doll thing.
It looks creepy, sure, but the whole build-up with the promo with Shayna and just talking to the doll and being scared running around backstage and all this kind of stuff. I was like, Shayna is not an actress. She's an MMA fighter, a badass bitch that can kick your ass and leave. That's what I want from her. I don't want these kind of fluff pieces from her. I don't need it. It's the wrong competitor for her.
Yes, I was going to say, Shayna was the wrong opponent for that.
100%.
I know their argument would be like, well, we want Alexa to see dominant. Shayna's dominant because she used to be.
She used to be. You can't just because she was once doesn't mean you can say she is now. You peeled her away piece by piece, but she's not dominant anymore.
It's like with Asuka.
You can't just say she is.
I love Asuka to pieces, and she's still good at what she does. But she was a dominant bitch in NXT. Now she's kind of just in the shuffle.
She's an afterthought.
Yeah, so...
She was the Raw Women's Champion and she was an afterthought.
Exactly. So, the thing is, I've always been a fan of that whole, the supernatural take. But the reason it's not working is, especially when the hypnotising thing happened, I will admit, when it first happened at first, I was like, this is shit. And don't get me wrong, I didn't change my mind, but afterwards I was kind of like, okay, for what it was, they executed it okay. But the thing is, I know they're trying to replace the Void Taker left of that supernatural thing.
Yeah.
The thing with Taker, which they were very careful and clever about, was it was almost the whole, how did he do that? More than, well, he's got powers. It was almost like he made you think maybe he has got powers. Didn't actually give him powers.
No, but it's very subtle to the point where it's just like, it looked cool and everything, but with...
He possessed
the Alexa thing. It doesn't look cool. It looks silly.
He possessed a person once on SmackDown, and it was one of the stupidest things they did with the Taker gimmick. But luckily, at that point, Taker been around so long, everyone could kind of forgive it.
Yeah.
But with the Alexa thing, I genuinely thought. So don't be wrong. Her creepy movements are good, and for what what they're telling her to do in that character, I think she's nailing it. She's the polar opposite.
She's not a good actor. I'm not saying she's not acting, but it's like the crap that she's been given, she isn't doing to the best of her ability. Yeah. I don't deny that. But it's just this supernatural stuff and the opponents that they decide to put against her, just the whole thing mixed together, just doesn't work.
They shouldn't have done... They need to drop the hypnotising thing. The Nia thing shouldn't have happened. The other question is, how did Reginald know not to look at the eyes? Because he was just straight away
that's a good point.
But also, if you'd saved that moment for the mid-match where Alexa was saying, look into my eyes, and not as a hypnotising thing, But when Shayna did, she really snapped out of it, but was terrified, I could just buy that part. Just, she sees something in Alexa's eyes that terrifies her, that's it. Not hypnotised, just terrified. Fear. Yes, absolute fear. So, and I genuinely thought this was the night, it was like, this is building up to the reveal of, Alexa's version of The Fiend, which I guess was Lily. Lily weren't even there.
No, she wasn't.
She didn't even come out with Alexa. She went carrying. I was like, did they lose the doll? What happened? And the only way I can see this kind of either coming to an end or being semi-successful is that when Alexa's version of like the wrestling Lily turns up, dominant for a while, and then you could do a thing in the fun house where the lights go out, they come back on, and Lily's gone. Alexa's freaking out, and then there's a hand holding the doll backstage, and the hand turns, and it's the hurt glove of Bray. Of like, okay, because with the characters they've got, they don't have to, the whole intergender wrestling thing. They don't have to wrestle. They can they can do a Firefly Funhouse match together.
Yeah, they can do like a
battle of wills.
Battle of wills, a battle of wits and minds and stuff. That kind of spooky stuff.
That I would love if they save that for like. Even if it is in front of like full attendance Mania again, I think if they do it right, I think the attending fans would be like, okay, I know it's on the screen, but these two in the Firefly Funhouse of using their past against each other and all that stuff to hopefully Bray to come out on top and Alexa kind of almost literally fall out the funhouse as old Alexa and just like runs away and stuff, and you don't see her for a few months because she's trying to get her head straight. That would be fine. Because then you can drop the Alexa thing, she can go back to normal, and Bray can come back with a little bit more dominance. Because Bray's meant to be returning soon. And literally within the next month. So, and rumour is it might be him versus Drew at SummerSlam. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. So yeah, it was
just
meh. It was there.
It was there.
So,
I'm just disappointed. Not that I wasn't expecting much from this match anyway.
Exactly. Again, I was expecting something with Lily. It just seemed to be pushing the Alexa thing a little bit more, but to Shayna's discredit or whatever. So, next was Sami versus Kevin.
Yeah. I mean, it's still fine.
Yeah, they always do a good match.
Because they know each other, they're best mates. They just know each other, how to play around and have a laugh and enjoy it. And they do. They enjoyed it, and it was fun. Again, it was very similar to the Cesaro-Seth match in the fact that I have seen it a few times. It's still enjoyable, and I still enjoy seeing them. It just, nothing really stands out to me as anything really big.
Well, the only thing that stood out was the going in that Kevin was nursing the injury of the Nigerian nail or whatever they called it. Which, going in, I thought, because again, I predicted Sami's win, mainly because of Kevin won at Mania, can't, bury Sami all the time.
Yeah, true.
So I was just going in, was like, okay, this is a good way to go, well, Kevin was 100%, so Sami took advantage. But then, when Kevin was coming out, I thought Kevin would be coming out like coughing on his throat. At first, he just came out fine. I thought, oh shit, is this going to be the whole, even with an injured throat, Kevin overcame? Oh, fuck. But again, the match was what it was. They always do a good match. Again, wasn't by any means their greatest match. And I think it ended up with... I think he did something to the throat and then hit the Helluva Kick, and that was it.
Yeah, it was a Helluva Kick. So at least it was a clean victory, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because I was, if anything was going to be a roll-up, I was worried that a match like this would be a roll-up because it's the sneaky hack Sami heel kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's one of them with... In any other superstars, that would be a good match. But for the caliber we know with Kevin and Sami, it was kind of a basic match.
It was just another match.
Yeah.
And it was good. Again, like I say, don't take
nothing
away.
bad with it, no.
But again, I've seen it a few times already.
Yeah, and it's one of those things of like, a lot of these matches, moveset-wise or spot-wise, was nothing of note, really. There's nothing that stands out.
Big moments.
No, there was, again, there was a smaller Helluva Kick near the start where like Kevin was like down in the corner and Sami did it, but that's, I don't think they hit a stunner or anything. I think he tried for it.
I think he got a stunner on the outside. I think.
Oh,
I think he did.
Did he go for a pin and then the ref was down, or am I thinking? I think I'm thinking of the main event. Yeah, I am. Yeah, so it was. Again, it was there.
Yeah,
and it's unfortunate to say that because I'm a big fan of both of them. But okay, Sami got the victory. It feeds his ego a bit more. And again, for both of them, it could feed into Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. So, yeah, next was the Raw Women's Championship, which, again...
Yeah.
Weird ending.
Again, this, was nothing...
to talk about.
Nothing to really talk about. It was, again, another rematch kind of thing. Nothing really kind of stood out to me. It was kind of stock wrestling. And considering what these two are capable of, I was a little bit disappointed in what they gave us. It was nothing too special. It was the ending that kind of really annoyed me, is the fact that Rhea got DQ'd because she pulled the cover off the announce table and hit her with it.
Yeah.
But I thought, so surely that's happened so many times before and someone hasn't been DQ'd. I'm pretty confident that's not a DQ. You can use the outside stuff, can't you? Plenty of people have.
I think they just fucked up the execution, because if Rhea had took the board off, got a grip, and then smacked it into Charlotte's head, I would have been like, okay.
With purpose.
But it looked to me like Rhea just tried to throw it off the table, happened to clip Charlotte, the ref calls for the bell. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay.
It was annoying because, it was annoying anyway, but it was even more annoying the fact that the build-up towards it was nothing special either.
No.
I don't know. Again, like I said, there's nothing really.
It was
stock. It was just a stock match.
Yeah.
Nothing really stood out, and it was an annoying ending that just kind of left you going, eh?
But it was almost like, were you trying for the double turn or just the one turn?
These are the rumours. Like, there was rumours going around that they were potentially pushing with a double turn. Mm-hmm. But if that was the case, it did not come off.
If anything,
I know she laid out Charlotte afterwards with the riptide, and fine. But to be honest, they've been floundering back and forth with Rhea about whether she's a face or heel for the last couple of months anyway. So I don't know where they were, to be honest, with their characters to begin with. So if that double turn was meant to happen, it did not pay off.
If Charlotte had somehow, I don't know, if they'd had a full... Because their match at Mania a couple of years ago was almost like 30-40-minute slugfest. It was great. It was good. Spent... And I know they didn't have exactly the same time period, but it was almost like... I'm pretty sure they didn't go in with this attitude, but from a viewer's point of view, it was almost like, let's just do this, finish and go home. So, if they really wanted to do the double turn, there should have been more moments from Charlotte to make the fans at home go, oh, wow, that was amazing. She's actually, just kind of remind everybody how good she is.
Yeah.
And almost start to play by the rules. Like, instead of with the figure 4, figure 8, when Rhea got the ropes, instead of screaming at the ref, no, just let go. And the cameras
build up that real resiliency.
Yeah.
So you switch to her side slowly but surely.
Yeah. So the first couple of times could be the shock thing with the ref, looking at the ref like, really? And then a couple of times after, just the smile of like, okay, kid, you're doing okay. And then for that whole, the Rhea Ripley thing. But with the way it went down, Rhea went in with almost a heel turn, with a heel turn. Charlotte just seemed still like a bitch. So I was thinking, if anything, I think what Charlotte was screaming was like, you're learning, kid.
Yeah, no, you're learning, bitch.
Yeah. So I'm thinking...
Which I like, it was fine.
The only thing that will make logical sense to me now is if Charlotte goes, all right, you screwed me at Hell in a Cell, but you proved your worth to me. You're not as stupid as you look. And make them a team.
Well, I thought that, because honestly, mate, I generally did think this when they were there and she was doing the learning bits and she was up at the ramp and everything. It was that closing moment before the adverts came on.
Yeah.
I looked at it and I was going to say this to the missus and I just didn't say it, but I was thinking to myself, imagine if these guys were tag champs.
Yeah. That would bring the belts up.
Phew, yeah.
They know what to do with them because they're very different and yet very similar at the same time. They're very different as in their almost their personas. But their characters they're very...
You could believe
level-minded.
Team.
Yeah. They're very...
Rather than just being chucked together, like so many tag teams are, you'd look at them and think, if they was similar gear, colour-wise, you look at them and go, yeah, they look like a team.
They'd be almost the female version of the Bar. Because with what happened with Nia and Shayna, it was almost... They were thrown together and it was like... There's no way, even after a while, they'd be a unit because Shayna is the lone wolf. Nia seems to beat to her own drum. Not going to work. With Charlotte and Rhea, yes, they've got that same similar thing, but they're the ones that be like, if I have to, I'll grit my teeth and will. And after a few matches, when their chemistry starts to build, they'll be like, all right, I get your game, I like you, and it's getting us victories, it's getting us gold, we're good.
Yeah.
So, but now it seems to be like going for another match and Money in the Bank.
Yeah, they just announced it. I was like, really?
And it's like, just fine, by all means do it, but surely you've got to do a stipulation where there's no disqualification or something this time.
Yeah, you've got to spice it up. I honestly thought they'd put Charlotte in the Money in the Bank and she'd probably win that and keep her in the match.
I mean...
But not that I want that, because Money in the Bank should elevate the next person, not just use it as a reason to keep someone in the title picture.
It may be... Again, I'd hate this because they seem to do it... well, they've done it in the last recent years. Whoever wins the women's Money in the Bank will probably cash it in the same night again.
No. I'm sorry. Both these Money in the Banks this time have to be there for, I think, 6 months minimum.
Yeah.
You need to build
3
up
to
to
6
it.
months.
Like, I can't have this shit again where, like, straight away we've already lost one Money in the Bank and the next one it's just given to someone we're not really fussed about, and then it ends up getting given to someone else anyway.
Well, it fucks up our bonus point for the predictions. Yeah. When there's Money in the Bank winners, it's like... The bonus, will they cash in? Yes or no? Easy. That's it. But yeah,
it's just disappointment.
Yeah, really. Again, it was just like I said near the start. The whole pay-per-view seemed to just be on an average tone of like it's doing the job, but not in an exciting manner.
Yeah. Until the main event, though, I would argue
the main event.
Because that's next, isn't it?
Yes, the main event was...
So Bobby versus Drew. And again, it's a rematch. And again, it's just like, I've seen this so many times, I think I'm done. But, with it being the Hell in a Cell match, they went to town on each other.
Again, to be honest, there was no match, maybe bar 1 or 2, I know there's only 6 on the card, that didn't really deliver. All of them crossed the finish line, and... none of them really staggered for what the script was. It was like, okay, we've done it. So, and this was the same, but again, they turned it up a slight notch.
Yeah.
And they always should for the main event.
Yeah. And I did like, it was really aggressive, it was hard hitting, it was big dudes doing big stuff. And
most of it was outside the ring.
Yeah, a lot of it was outside the ring. So a lot of stuff going on. The welts on the back of Drew at the end of it. But I think even Bobby at some point had his skin ripped off to the side.
Like a bit of flesh.
Flesh had come off. The aggression I had from Bobby, I really liked. Drew's resilience, just coming back. I think he hit 2 claymores at a certain point. But there was at least 3 times where he had this match won. I also love the fact of how they involved MVP. Because I generally didn't think he'd be getting involved, and nor did he really need to, because Bobby's dominant. But I liked how he just took that opportunity just to pull the ref out, and that smug look on his face. And then when he turned around and realised the cage was locked again, and Drew went to town on him, I was like, that was a really fun little story to be told there. I enjoyed that. While Bobby's down and recovering, it also makes Drew, like, you go, oh, this is the reason Drew loses, because he's focusing on someone else. Bobby can recover and take him out, which is, again, Drew got a little bit more offense afterwards, but eventually Drew lost. The only downside with this, because I think the rest of the match was good, it had plenty of spots, it had tables, chairs, I think ladder was there at some point, there was kendo sticks, there was plenty of moves and stuff using on the ring and on the cell itself. All that was great. The only downside was the way the match finished.
The roll-up.
A roll-up. There's 2 roll-ups in one pay-per-view, and the roll-up being the finish to the main event, building all the way up to that point. I don't like that roll-up. I know it kind of protects Drew to a point, but Bobby's been dominant, and that doesn't make him look dominant. That makes him look like a sneaky heel, and I don't see him as that.
Yeah, the thing is, his character is the sneaky heel.
I don't feel like it is. I feel like he's not a dominant heel. I don't see him as a sneaky heel.
Well, okay.
I know MVP got involved, but at no point did it look like Bobby was telling him to get involved. He did it off his own back.
He's definitely not the sneaky heel as in the sense of like The Miz or someone
like that. Or like Sammy. No. He's not like that.
But he's one of them where I can buy it with the whole, like, I will dominate, I will crush, and those little moments where I seem to be in trouble, I will almost like, that's when I'm like, MVP, help, that's why you're here, kind of thing. So out of the 2 roll-ups from like Cesaro Seth in this match, I would have been more inclined to see Cesaro lose clean than Drew, because with Drew, it's almost the poster boy now, and it's more heartbreak and it's the protection, and it's more heartbreak, because for the storyline thing, it's the whole, for the major Drew fans, the marks, they're going to go, oh no, oh Drew, man, that was your last chance, and really good roll-up, and Drew sold that whole thing brilliantly of the emotion.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying that.
I
was just so annoyed with all the build-up and how good the match was up until that point. I was just really annoyed that the show went off air with a roll-up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I can understand you.
I don't mind Drew losing clean here because it's inside Hell in a Cell, and they beat the shit out of each other.
I mean,
so it's warranted for him to lose clean.
It is warranted because it happened with him and Orton last year. Orton beat him clean, simple as that.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Drew had fell off the cell. But yeah, it's one of them. It's almost like if Bobby had beaten clean, I agree, it would have been great for Lashley and be like, well, he is the dominant champion. Who's going to stop him? But at the same time, it would have been like, well, maybe Drew isn't as good as we think he is. For the casual viewer.
I suppose.
Yeah. So it's one of them where I'm happy to let it slide. But yeah, I agree with how the aggressive and it was a brawl.
It was a schlub and
it didn't feel like wrestling, and I like in this case. It was a good way. I did. There's a lot of times where they were getting thrown out the ring. And I thought, oh my god, and I forgot the table was there. So it was like,
when
almost
he
like
Sam Drew.
Yeah, it was like, whoa!
Went through and there's a table. The way it looked, oh shit, he went through a table.
Yeah, but I was more like, thank God there was a table there, because that bump would have been horrible. And I did think they're doing okay, but the lack of elbow room they've got, because about 75% of the match was outside the ring.
Yeah, it's quite a lot.
Did you notice the little hand come out from under the ring?
No.
I did.
Sorry,
literally,
what?
Drew went through the table after the choke slam, and pans to Lashley for a bit. He's there like, trying to get his breath back, and then he pans back to Drew, who's like in the wreckage, and then there's this little hand just pushing debris of the table out from under the ring. And at first, I was there like, is someone hiding the ring to like suddenly lunge in? Was that Brock? Is Brock suddenly going to appear and like dominate? But I thought, it looked like a baby's hand compared to what Brock's hand would be. And, obviously nothing happens. It was obviously just like a ring technician. Just like, get that away. But you did notice, like,
I didn't spot it.
It just pretty much was like, kind of thing. Literally like a 3-second thing. I was like, I saw that. Okay.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, so the match, rough and tough, brawl, chairs. The ref got obviously wiped out, which is why the other ref got called in, which is why the door was open for MVP.
Yeah, and I liked all that. I mean, that he took a hit with the chair, but then you see the chair land on top of him straight away after. So, it's unlucky.
Yeah, it is one of those things that if you're going to watch any match from this show, you hit the main event.
Yeah.
Which, again, in normal circumstances, would be like watching the entire show. But the main event should always be the top match of the card.
I'll be honest, because obviously at the moment with wrestling being as dire as it is, we've said before, if we weren't doing this podcast or our league, we probably wouldn't be watching it. I literally was going into Hell in a Cell thinking, I think I might just watch like one match or something. I went, oh fuck, I can't. I have to watch the whole thing because I have to talk about it.
But my brother watched only one.
The hell we go through for you people.
Do you think I think it makes it a little bit easier for me because to be honest, I used to rely on Facebook last year or so to give me the results. It's almost like my Facebook's gave up. That whole thing of
the cookies are just gone. Yeah.
So every now and then, if I remember, it's getting to that point now. I'll be like, oh yeah, Raw was on last night. I might type in WWE on YouTube or Facebook and see if I missed anything. I'm more inclined to do it for SmackDown because
I literally just watch the clips of Reigns.
Yeah.
Everything else, I just watch the reviews from Wrestle Talk. Just tell me if there's anything decent. Apparently, Raw wasn't too bad this week. It was better than recent weeks.
Okay.
Because they're building up towards Money in the Bank and storytelling.
Which is going to have fans.
And Drew and stuff. And it's fine. So, I mean, I suppose that brings me on to one of the things that I'm kind of annoyed about is that it's quite obvious, and I'm pretty sure someone has mentioned it down the line, that they're spinning their wheels on purpose until fans come back. Which is why things like this Hell in a Cell stuff don't really mean anything at the end of it. And that's such a shame because it's like, well, people are putting all this effort in, the wrestlers included, people spending their money and everything to watch these pay-per-views and stuff, and you're making all this effort, money-wise, to put out a shit product, and you're doing it on purpose because you don't have fans. I get that it's going to be better with fans in, but you should still try and make the best product you can possibly make with the parameters that are given to you.
Yeah.
And I hate that Vince is just looking, we'll coast. We'll coast until fans, and I hate that.
It's probably that thing under normal circumstances. So, right, I really don't know. If this COVID thing had happened during the Attitude Era, it's really hard to know how we'd be behaving towards it, if they would have still gone with the same things and stuff. But for argument's sake, say the product was still as good, you've got that constant line, and that line should be constant.
Consistency.
Not at the bottom.
Yeah.
It should be at the top, a constant thing. Obviously, they fell off the radar now, and instead of then going, let's try anything to get up now, to poke our head way above the water, like you say, they're just kind of coasting. So it's almost like they're purposely, like you say, having it kind of not decline as such, but just kind of waver. And then when SummerSlam hits, it's like, here's all the surprises and shocks you didn't do.
Yeah, exactly.
There's the kick in your arm, we're back. And I understand that, but it's kind of like...
You're damaging so many wrestlers' characters and personas and storylines.
And you're losing fans.
And all this right up until that point.
Yeah.
So when it gets to that big point where big things happen for the characters, you're going to sit there going, but I don't care about the character. For the last 6 months, you've told me not to care. You've told me not to give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if they push Shayna Baszler at Money in the Bank and she wins the Money in the Bank briefcase.
The logic won't make sense.
I'm literally like, but you've buried her for the last 3 months. So why do I care?
Yeah,
Tell me why I care.
It'd be like, great for Shayna, but the push came out of nowhere. It doesn't make any sense. When she won the Chamber to face Becky at Mania, it made sense. It seems like, look, every now and then, a shock like someone you wouldn't expect to win or do something. Like Zack Ryder with the Intercontinental Championship. It worked because it was a surprise. He had support from the fans as it was, and he was not even a mid-carder, just below that. So it was like, holy shit. Yeah. But if you keep going, you suck, you suck, you suck. Oh, look, he won. He doesn't suck. It's like, no, I'm not buying that. No. You just told me he sucked for the last 6 months. So, it's
such a shame because it makes things like this ultimately pointless.
Yeah.
What changes that side of Hell in a Cell?
I'm hoping to God
really.
There's someone like us who's got our opinions, who's in that meeting room and says these kind of things to Vince. And I'm pretty sure with what we said about the whole, you'll lose fans, Vince will be like, maybe, but 75% of them will come back. Fuck the other 25%. It's like, what? I don't wonder when you want to lose one fan.
Yeah. It's just like when 8 years ago when Hunter said to Punk, it's like 50% of people like it, 50% don't. I don't want 50%. I want 100% of people to like it 100% of the time.
How is that not the target?
How is that not the target? Exactly.
Like,
don't coast. Make the best product ever.
But,
that's like Marvel just going, we're doing really well here, but I think when we get to Endgame, we'll just shit the bed. Why would you do that?
It's one of the... the problem with... not the problem with it, but with Infinity War, it was kind of like, oh my God, a lot of people are going to be like really upset with this ending. But they had Endgame in the back pocket to be like,
but it was a great cliffhanger.
Yeah, exactly.
When was the last time we had a great cliffhanger in WWE?
But the thing is, the problem with WWE is that it's always a cliffhanger sometimes because it never stops. It's hard to determine, but yeah, as far as the whole just like coasting and all that kind of crap, it's almost like I wouldn't be surprised if you went into Hell in a Cell and said, we're going to get fans back full capacity soon, and I want most, if not all, of my roster to be 100%. So going into Hell in a Cell, don't worry about doing anything mad. Just do your substandard stuff and get out of there. Job done. So I very much doubt there was any negatives from Vince that night. I bet he was just kind of like, yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, but to be honest, if he hadn't fired so many people, he would have had enough people on the roster to cover if someone did get injured. But at this point, he's got about 20 people.
Sometimes they do that WWE day off thing, and they do it for every other pay-per-view on the network. I'd be very surprised if they do one Hell in a Cell and it shows Kevin and Sammy go back, and if Kevin goes, is that okay? And Vince goes, yeah, exactly what we wanted. To be like, how can you say that to him now?
When yet with Jericho and him shit. That was a better match.
You need, you can't keep changing man. There's good and there's bad. I understand there's a different kind of good and a different kind of bad depending on the story. But, like we just said, Kevin and Sammy was good because of how good they are. Not of how good the story was.
Yeah.
The characters helped a bit. It was just there. It was just a match that was on. It just happened to be with two competitors that the fans love and respect. So, yeah, I suppose we should do ratings.
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of at the end of... I loved the main event. I thought it was really good outside of the roll-up victory. Everything else was just kind of there, really. You know, some of it was solid, but for the most part, it was either forgettable or at the end of it didn't really mean much going forward, to be perfectly honest. So I'm probably going to give it 5.
I'm going to give it 4.5.
Yeah,
because
you never give a solid number anymore, do you?
I nearly went for 4, but I thought, like you say, the matches weren't actually bad.
No,
even Alexa Shayna wasn't exactly a bad match. Just didn't. They should have pulled the trigger on Lily then, I think, and then I can't really think of anything, nothing bad to say about it, but nothing of note for Rhea Charlotte. No. Or anything like that. So it's one of those where I remember watching it and not thinking this fucking sucks. I just remember going, "This is a wrestling show."
Yeah, I literally finished.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's that done. Bedtime.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It was literally as it went because I watched it live. It was just literally like, oh, thank God I can go to bed.
You should not feel like that on the pay-per-view. You really shouldn't, should you?
I will admit, when, at the end, when Lashley and MVP were at the top of the ramp and the little copyright came up and Drew's looking all fucking heartbroken, it's like, okay, this would be the time for either A, someone to attack Drew to continue the story for the next coming months, or Lesnar's music to hit. Because allegedly Lesnar was there. Yes. Along with, I think Becky was there as well.
Yeah, she was there, yeah.
So it's like, okay, they're beginning to, again, like you say, with the whole, they're kind of coasting, but backstage, they're putting things in motion.
They're gearing up towards fans.
Which is great, but like you say, it's kind of like at a cost for the next couple of months.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it's what it is. So, there you go.
Yeah, that's on the sell. It happened.
Yeah, that's pretty much the tagline.
Yeah, it happened.
It was a show.
It was a show. So, it did some stuff.
Yeah, next is Money in the Bank.
Yeah, which is fans' first time.
Yeah, this is where I'm stemming back to the start of why I think they shook up the pay-per-view card. I think they might have did it just for the shake-up. I mean, it's good to keep it fresh, but it's like, okay, you're probably saving Money in the Bank and like SummerSlam to get fans in.
100%. Yeah, I get that.
And if you're going to shake it up, I'm sorry, I think Elimination Chamber's been in the wrong spot for a long time. You put allegedly one of WWE's most dangerous matches right before Mania, but people could get hurt right before. Nah, forget that. Put Chamber autumn, winter time, throw, I don't know, Clash of Champions or something. Clash of Champions would make more sense to me before Mania because it's like all the goals on the line, every challenger, this is your last chance to get on the Mania card. It makes more sense.
It does make more sense.
So, there's your Money in the Bank.
In about 4 weeks.
July 18th, I believe. So I don't know if we'll watch that one live. I suppose it depends on work.
Yeah, we'll wait.
And but if the card looks good,
yeah, true.
But at the minute, the men's one, where you got Ricochet, Riddle, and who's the third guy?
I can't remember who the other guy is.
It's a kind of mid-carder guy, so it's where they should be. It shouldn't be the main.
Again, it's meant to elevate the next person.
Morrison.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
Yeah, and
that's looking good so far.
We've got a last chance thing with Orton, Drew, and AJ next week, triple threat.
If you have, I think you should keep AJ out, keep focused on the tag team thing. But have Drew in there by all means. I'd like it to be Drew, Morrison. Is it 8 or 6?
I think it's 6.
Right. Drew, Riddle. It's got to be 8 because that'll be 4 from Raw, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah.
So Drew, Riddle, Morrison, Ricochet, Kevin, Sammy, Seth, Cesaro.
That's good.
That's what
solid.
I want.
That's solid.
So that would make sense, and Cesaro wins.
Yeah.
Money in the Bank.
Like, subscribe, and we'll be back in about 4 weeks for Money in the Bank.
Ta-ra!
Bye!